Losing a child is one of the greatest tragedies anyone can endure. And sadly, many famous celebrities have faced this heartbreak. Today, we're going to talk about 50 celebrities who experienced the unimaginable pain of losing their children, some under tragic circumstances that involved their own hands. 1. Roy Orbison, Roy Jr. and Tony, 1968. At the height of his rock and roll fame, Roy Orbison was touring the UK when a fire tore through his Hendersonville, Tennessee home. His wife barely escaped. Their two little boys, 10-year-old Roy Jr. and 6-year-old Tony, did not. Orbison withdrew from public life, pouring his sorrow into songwriting and pushing Tennessee officials for tougher residential fire codes and mandatory smoke alarms. Over time, he returned to music, fragile voice, darker lyrics, and quietly endowed a burn unit fund that still bears his sons' names. Second President Joe Biden, Naomi, 1972. Just weeks after winning a first Senate seat, 30-year-old Joe Biden raced home to Delaware and into heartbreak. A tractor trailer hit the family station wagon, killing his wife Nelia and their 13-month-old daughter Naomi, while badly injuring sons Bo and Hunter. Biden took his Senate oath at the boys' hospital bedside. The tragedy forged his trademark empathy and was later echoed by Bo's 2015 brain cancer death. Both losses power Biden's advocacy. Stronger trucking safety rules, bereavement leave legislation, and the cancer moonshot that funds glioblastoma research in Bo's honor. 3. Robert Plant, Carac, 1977. During Led Zeppelin's U.S. tour, Plant's 5-year-old son, Carac, caught a virulent stomach infection at home in Worcestershire. The illness turned fatal within hours. Plant flew back, cancelled remaining dates, and for a time questioned music entirely. His grief reshaped Zeppelin's final album In Through the Outdoor and later prompted his retreat from stadium rock. Today, Plant funds rural British pediatric clinics and sponsors the annual Carac Theatre Bursary, telling young artists, "Create bravely, because tomorrow isn't promised." 4. Paul Newman, Scott, 1978. Actor Scott Newman, Paul's look-alike son and co-star in The Towering Inferno, died at 28 after mixing alcohol, Valium, and painkillers. Newman blamed himself for a busy career and founded the Scott Newman Center, one of America's first peer-led drug education programs. The model became a template for modern prevention curricula. Paul later reflected in interviews and his posthumous memoir that the charity was an apology written in action, aiming to spare other parents the phone call that changed his life forever. 5. O.J. Simpson, Aaron, 1979. Only 19 months old, Aaron was playing near the family pool when she fell in and drowned, days before her second birthday. The tragedy occurred while Simpson was still an NFL star and long before his later notoriety. Her mother, Marguerite, established a swimming lesson scholarship in Aaron's memory. Although Simpson seldom speaks of the event, the loss, captured briefly in court documents years later, shadows every chapter of his biography, a reminder that fame never insulates a family from sudden tragedy. 6. Mary Tyler Moore, Richie Meeker, 1980. Richie Meeker, Moore's only child, was cleaning a German antique shotgun he thought was empty. A single round discharged and killed the 24-year-old. Moore's grief soon turned activist. She testified before Congress for strong gun lock laws and endowed UCLA's Neurological Institute in Richie's name, merging safety advocacy with her own battle against diabetes. Friends say she kept the shotgun's broken stock in a drawer as a silent motivator for every public health bill she championed. 7. Eric Clapton, Connor, 1991. 4-year-old Connor, visiting his mother's 53-story Manhattan condo, dashed past a housekeeper and through an open window. The 190-foot fall shattered Clapton, who'd only recently embraced hands-on fatherhood. In the isolation of hotel rooms, he wrote Tears in Heaven, a ballad whose royalties funded the Crossroads Center for Addiction Recovery. Clapton later called Connor's death bottomless pain, but also the spark that finally kept him sober. Even today, every Crossroads graduation ceremony ends with a candle lit for Connor. 8. Vince Neil, Schuyler, 1995. Mötley Crüe frontman Vince Neil spent months sleeping in a pediatric ICU as 4-year-old Schuyler battled Wilms' tumor, a rare kidney cancer. Despite surgeries and chemo, she died in 1995. Neil launched the Schuyler Neil Memorial Fund, raising more than $5 million for pediatric cancer and AIDS research, often through raucous golf tournaments that mingle hard rock swagger with sobering statistics. He calls the charity the encore Schuyler never got to take. 9. Prince, Boy Gregory, 1996. Prince and mate Garcia's first child arrived with Pfeiffer syndrome type 2, a severe craniofacial disorder. After emergency operations, Gregory died 6 days later. The couple, guarded at the best of times, kept the loss private, fueling rumors until Garcia's memoir revealed the anguish that haunted Prince's Emancipation album and contributed to their divorce. Together, they endowed neonatal care grants at Minneapolis Children's Hospital. Close friends say Prince kept Gregory's tiny booties in a Paisley Park studio drawer, visible only when he opened a specific guitar case. 10. Bill Cosby, Ennis, 1997. While changing a tire on an LA freeway ramp, 27-year-old Ennis Cosby was approached by a robber and fatally shot. A doctoral student at Columbia, Ennis had planned a dyslexia foundation called Hello Friend, a phrase from childhood. His mother, Camille, realized that dream, funding literacy camps nationwide. Before Cosby's own fall from grace, he championed gun violence research and insisted that every show taping include a moment of silence for families missing someone at the dinner table tonight. 11. Keanu Reeves, Ava Archer, 1999. 8 months into pregnancy, Reeves's partner Jennifer Syme delivered their stillborn daughter, Ava. Grief eroded their relationship. Syme died in a 2001 car crash, compounding Reeves's isolation. Known for philanthropy he rarely publicizes, Reeves quietly funds neonatal loss counseling at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. He once told an interviewer, "Grief never ends. Your world just grows around it." Fans still leave letters addressed to Ava at Reeves's movie premieres. 12. Steve Harwell, Presley, 2001, Smash Mouth halted its all-star tour when 6-month-old Presley Harwell was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia. She died within weeks. Harwell and ex-wife Michelle founded Presley's Place, providing child life specialists, bubble machines, and music therapy in Las Vegas oncology wards. Harwell called every new delivery another confetti cannon for a room that lost its light. 13. Carol Burnett, Carrie Hamilton, 2002. Carrie Hamilton survived teenage addiction and co-wrote a play with her mother before lung cancer spread to her brain at 38. Burnett says Carrie's final whispered word, moisture, became a family slogan for resilience. She endowed the Pasadena Playhouse Carrie Hamilton Theater for emerging writers and lobbies for lung cancer screening, even in lifelong non-smokers, pointing to her daughter's story when skeptics dismissed testing. 14. Anna Nicole Smith, Daniel, 2006. 3 days after half-sister Danny Lynn's birth, 20-year-old Daniel Smith collapsed in Anna Nicole's Bahamas hospital room. A toxic mix of methadone and antidepressants was blamed. Cameras captured Anna's wails, igniting tabloids and a legal storm over her estate. The coroner's findings later spurred toxicology protocol reforms across Caribbean clinics. Despite the chaos, Daniel's friends maintain an annual scholarship for film students. Quiet legacy in a noise-filled story. 15. Eddie Levert, Gerald, 2006, and Sean, 2008. OJ's frontman Eddie Levert lost his Grammy-winning son Gerald to a fatal interaction of prescription drugs in 2006. 2 years later, Gerald's brother Sean died from sarcoidosis complications while incarcerated. Shattered, Eddie funds Cleveland's Levert Scholarship for sober re-entry programs and lobbies Ohio prisons to provide uninterrupted medical care, arguing addiction and illness shouldn't be a death sentence. Padinaram Dr. Dre, Andre Young Jr., 2008. Dre's 20-year-old namesake was found dead of heroin-morphine toxicity at home. The super producer withdrew from studios, endowing addiction science fellowships at USC's Iovine Young Academy and quietly financing rehab scholarships for inner-city teens. Insiders say every new Beats by Dre product launch directs a fraction of sales to Andre Jr.'s memorial fund. Unadvertised by design. 17. Mike Tyson, Exodus, 2009. 4-year-old Exodus was playing on a treadmill in Tyson's Phoenix home when a dangling cord strangled her. Tyson relapsed, then re-entered rehab, later calling himself a broken boy who lost his baby girl. The boxer funds inner-city youth centers named for Exodus and appears in blunt child safety PSAs. Tie the cord up, or I promise this will tie you in knots forever. 18. Vanessa Redgrave, Natasha Richardson, 2009. On a beginner ski slope near Quebec City, Richardson fell, laughed off the tumble, then developed an epidural hematoma that proved fatal at 45. Redgrave's grief became action. She and family funded the Natasha Richardson Neurotrauma Program, championing CT scanner access in remote resorts and helmet use in safe zones where most novices get hurt. 19. John Travolta, Jet, 2009. While vacationing in the Bahamas, 16-year-old Jet suffered a seizure. A hazard tied to Kawasaki syndrome and autism hit his head and could not be revived. Travolta testified in court about years of managing Jet's condition, then created the Jet Travolta Foundation to fund neurodiverse camps. He tells parents, every special needs kid deserves a runway long enough to take off. 20. Jerry Lewis, Joseph, 2009. Joseph Lewis died of acute morphine intoxication at 45 after years of estrangement from his father. Jerry quietly paid rehab bills, then used his muscular dystrophy telethon network to highlight veterans' opioid dependence, arguing that addiction cripples families the way disease cripples bodies. 21. Marie Osmond, Michael Bryan, 2010. 19-year-old Michael Blosel jumped from his Los Angeles apartment after battling depression. Osmond's raw Oprah interview broke silence within the Latter-day Saint community on suicide. She bankrolls BYU's comprehensive clinic scholarships and funds Trevor Project crisis lines, urging parents to ask, then listen, even when the answer scares you. 22. Jason Watkins, Maude, 2011. 2-year-old Maude died of sepsis after twice being sent home from hospital with croup. BAFTA winner Watkins turned detective, exposing systemic blind spots in A&E departments. His ITV documentary, In Memory of Maudie, prompted UK guidelines requiring clinicians to ask, could this be sepsis, during pediatric assessments, a protocol already credited with saved lives. 23rd. Sylvester Stallone, Sage, 2012. Sage Moonblood Stallone, actor, editor, Rocky IV co-star, was found dead at 36. Autopsy revealed undiagnosed coronary artery disease. The loss ended a years-long reconciliation and spurred Stallone to back on-set heart health screenings, declaring, "Muscles hide what arteries reveal." He funds mobile cardiac vans at indie film festivals in Sage's honor. 24. Delilah Renee, Sammy, 2012, and Zachariah, 2017. Nighttime radio host. Delilah lost 16-year-old Sammy to sickle cell complications, then 18-year-old Zach to suicide 5 years later. Her nonprofit Point Hope now pairs bereaved teens with therapy dogs and underwrites CRISPR gene editing trials for sickle cell disease. Two different battles for the same family, she says. 25. Pierce Brosnan, Charlotte, 2013. Charlotte Brosnan, 41, succumbed to ovarian cancer, the same disease that killed her mother Cassandra. Brosnan chairs the Women's Cancer Research Fund and, each March, walks Santa Monica Beach at dawn, carving both women's initials in the sand before the tide erases them. Yearly ritual turned fundraising image shared thousands of times. 26. Bob Geldof, Peaches, 2014. Writer and TV host Peaches Geldof, 25, overdosed on heroin, eerily mirroring mother Paula Yates's 2000 death. Bob Geldof campaigns for over-the-counter naloxone and rescue kit training, arguing addiction is a family tree whose roots strangle the saplings unless we cut them back. 27. Nick Cave, Arthur, 2015, and Jethro, 2022. 15-year-old Arthur died after an LSD-induced fall from Brighton Cliffs. Cave's haunting album Ghosteen emerged from that grief. In 2022, eldest son Jethro died in Melbourne after mental health struggles. Cave's ceramics series, The Devil a Life, auctions pieces to fund UK youth counselling programs, confronting sorrow in stereo, as he puts it. 28. Bobby Brown, Bobby Christina, 2015, and Bobby Jr., 2020. Found face down in a bathtub, 22-year-old Bobby Christina died after 6 months in hospice, echoing Whitney Houston's demise 3 years prior. In 2020, 28-year-old Bobby Jr. overdosed on fentanyl and alcohol. Brown's Serenity House tackles domestic violence and opioid education, reminding audiences, silence is a slow killer. 29. Ruthie Ann Miles, Abigail, 2018, and unborn Sophia, a driver with a history of seizures plowed through a Brooklyn crosswalk, killing 4-year-old Abigail and friend Joshua Liu. 7 months pregnant, Miles later lost baby Sophia to injuries. After a year of quiet recovery, she returned to Broadway, headlining The King and I benefit that raised $1 million for Vision Zero street safety upgrades, stage lights glowing where traffic lights failed. 30. Snoop Dogg, Kai Love, grandson, 2019. 10-day-old Kai Love Broadus died in neonatal care. The family never disclosed details, choosing instead to focus on infant loss grief. Snoop and wife Shantae renovated Ronald McDonald House rooms in Kai's name. Pastel murals reading, "Lil Love Lives Here." 31st. Granger Smith, River, 2019. 3-year-old River slipped through a pool gate during a backyard water gun game and drowned. Country star Granger Smith donated River's organs, then left touring to study ministry, writing the bestseller Like a River. He now headlines National Drowning Prevention Alliance videos filmed beside the rebuilt, locked gate because a second of inattention cost a lifetime. 32nd. George Foreman, Frida, 2019. Former boxer and boxing promoter Frida Foreman, 42, died by suicide in Houston. George Foreman established the Frida Fellowship to train female boxing coaches and speaks openly about mental health stigma in sports, telling young fighters, "The real heavyweight bout is with your own mind. Don't fight it alone." 33. Vanessa Bryant, Gianna, 2020. 13-year-old Gianna and father Kobe were among 9 victims of a helicopter crash in dense Calabasas fog. NTSB blamed pilot disorientation. Vanessa Bryant secured a $28.8 million settlement and pushed Gianna's law, mandating terrain awareness tech on charter helicopters. The Mamba and Mamba Cheetah Foundation funds girls' basketball scholarships, handing each recipient Gianna's number 2 jersey stitched with angel wings. 34. Lisa Marie Presley, Benjamin Keough, 2020. Elvis's grandson Benjamin, 27, died by suicide. Lisa Marie's unfinished memoir, completed by daughter Riley after Lisa's own 2023 death, speaks of broken heart syndrome all the money in the world can't mend. Graceland tours now include a quiet meditation garden funded by the Ben Keough Trust for youth music therapy. 35. Robert Redford, James, 2020. Environmental filmmaker James Redford, 58, battled bile duct cancer after decades with autoimmune liver disease. He and Father Robert co-founded the Redford Center. Its climate justice film grants continue under James's name. Each application packet still carries his final email footer. Stories change hearts. Hearts change policy. 36. Nick Cannon, Zen, 2021. Diagnosed at 2 months with an aggressive brain tumor, Zen Cannon underwent surgery yet declined rapidly. Cannon spent Zen's last sunrise on a California beach, later devoting an entire episode of his TV show to pediatric cancer awareness. Proceeds fund clinical trials at Children's Hospital LA, where a hallway now bears a mural of Zen reaching for the stars. 37th. Regina King, Ian Alexander Jr., 2022. DJ and chef Ian Alexander Jr. died by suicide on his 26th birthday. Regina King transformed pain into purpose, bankrolling HBCU counseling centers and producing a docuseries on Black men and mental health. She ends every interview with Ian's mantra: "Choose joy. On the days it feels impossible, choose it twice." 38. Cristiano Ronaldo, twin son, 2022. During childbirth, Ronaldo and Georgina Rodriguez lost their newborn boy. Twin sister Bella survived. Returning to play, Ronaldo pointed skyward after each goal and donated match bonuses to Manchester neonatal hospice projects dubbed Angel CR. He later tweeted, "He is our guardian on every pitch." 39. Sinead O'Connor, Shane, 2022. 17-year-old Shane left Tallaght Hospital suicide watch and was later found near Bray. O'Connor's final posts called him "my lantern boy." Ireland's health service quickly overhauled adolescent psychiatric supervision, naming the reforms Shane's Law. Candles still line the River Liffey each January on his birthday. 40. Jack Wagner, Harrison, 2022. Soap opera veteran Jack Wagner's 27-year-old son died of fentanyl-laced Xanax toxicity. Jack and ex-wife Christina founded the Harrison Wagner Scholarship for Sober Living Houses, warning college audiences, "One counterfeit pill can counterfeit an entire future." 41. Andrew Lloyd Webber, Nicholas, 2023. Grammy-nominated composer Nicholas Lloyd Webber succumbed to gastric cancer at 43. His father missed Phantom of the Opera's Broadway finale to keep vigil, later establishing the Nick Lloyd Webber Prize for Young Orchestrators. The award statue is a silver quill resting on sheet music titled Unwritten. 42. Ben Queller, Dorian, 2023. Indie rocker Ben Queller's 16-year-old son, Dorian, an emerging musician, was killed by a passing driver outside Austin. Queller released Dorian's demos posthumously and created the Zev Scholarship for teen songwriters at South by Southwest, playing his son's track Howl on the festival's main stage each year. 43. Ray Lewis, Ray Lewis III, 2023. Ray Lewis III, 28, died from fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine toxicity. Later examination showed CTE Stage 2. NFL Hall of Famer Ray Lewis joined the Concussion Legacy Foundation, advocating flag football for kids under 14 and insisting a brain is worth more than a trophy. 44. Ricky Smiley, Brandon, 2023. Comedian Ricky Smiley's 32-year-old son overdosed on fentanyl-laced cocaine. Smiley's memoir Sideshow urges honest family dialogues about drugs and proceeds enlarge Birmingham's crisis center rehab beds. On radio, he tells listeners, "Talk before the coroner does." 45. Rick Harrison, Adam, 2024. Pawn Stars figure Rick Harrison lost 39-year-old son Adam to fentanyl meth toxicity. Harrison now testifies before Congress on border fentanyl trafficking and funds Las Vegas sober skill apprenticeships in Adam's memory, declaring every graduation a pawn ticket cashed in for a life. 46. Francis Ngannou, Kobe, 2024. MMA heavyweight Francis Ngannou revealed that 15-month-old Kobe died unexpectedly of a brain malformation. Ngannou fought through public tears during his next bout, dedicating purses to child neurology charities in Cameroon and funding a pediatric imaging wing in Douala, stamped with a lion cub, the logo chosen by Kobe's brothers. 47. Lindsay Dewey, Reed, 2025. Parenting influencer Lindsay Dewey's 22-month-old son Reed was crushed by an unanchored mirror. Her raw TikTok testimony sparked the number Anchor It movement, pushing big-box retailers to include free furniture anchors. A Memorial Toddler clothing line funds injury prevention grants. Each tag reads, "Read, forever in the reflection." 48th. Brett Gardner, Miller, 2025. Vacationing in Costa Rica, former Yankee outfielder Brett Gardner awoke to find 14-year-old Miller unresponsive from carbon monoxide poisoning linked to a faulty hotel machine room. Gardner lobbies for mandatory CO detectors in international resorts and supplies MLB players with personal pocket-sized sensors, calling it a safety slider no one should miss. 49. Zach Steele, George, Leo, 2025. BBC Gladiators competitor Zach George welcomed son Leo at 23 weeks. The premature newborn lived 13 days. George's Instagram eulogy, "Our lion roared quietly," raised thousands for UK neonatal charities. The show's finale now includes a NICU fundraising obstacle named Leo's Ladder, climbed while athletes cradle weighted newborn simulators. 50. Caitlin and Jalen Ordone, Preston, 2025. YouTube's OK Baby parents were driving through Louisiana when their pickup left the road, fatally injuring 2-year-old Preston. Both parents, also hurt, partnered with state police on child seat campaigns, turning Preston's viral giggles into PSAs that end with his favorite phrase, Buckle up. Ready, set, go. 50 stories, 5 decades, one unbreakable thread. Grief may visit anyone, yet so can the resolve to protect another family from identical pain. From house fire reforms to fentanyl legislation, these parents, grandparents, and partners prove that love can still legislate, educate, and inspire long after the cameras fade.